Now we will continue the second part of Kafka and messaging. So why Kafka instead of RabbitMQ? Don't say Kafka is always better. They solve somewhat different problems. Kafka is excellent for high throughput event streaming, event replay, distributed logs, large scale event pipelines. RabbitMQ is excellent for traditional message queues, complex routing, task distribution, request message processing. Example is Kafka is producer topic in consumers and its replay later. Kafka retains records according to its retention configuration, so consumers can read replay data again. Interview line: I would choose Kafka when I need high throughput event streaming, durable event retention, and replay, while RabbitMQ is often a better fit for traditional queue based messaging and complex routing. How do Kafka partitions work? A topic can have multiple partitions. Orders topic partition 0, partition 1, partition 2, partition 3. Provisions partition provide parallelism, scalability, ordering within a partition. If producer order ID equals to 101, Kafka can use hash order ID partition 2. Therefore, all events for the same key can go to the same partition. Important: Kafka guarantees ordering within a partition, not globally across all partitions. Happens if a consumer crashes? Suppose partition 0, consumer A, partition 1, consumer A, partition 2, consumer B, consumer A crash. Kafka's consumer group coordinator detects the failures and trigger a rebalance. Another consumer may take over those partitions. Before A, P partition 0 and partition 1, B, P2. After crash, B, P0, P1, P2. So the new consumer continues from the committed offsets. This is why offset management is important. How do you maintain message ordering? Kafka ordering is guaranteed within a partition. So for the order related events, order ID 1001, use order ID as Kafka message key, producer key, order ID, same partition, consumer. Example: order created, payment completed, order shipped. All should use the same key if their relative ordering matters. What is idempotency in distributed systems? An operation is idempotent if executing it multiple times has the same final effect as executing it once. Example: post payment, idempotency key ABC123, final request, payment created. Retry, same idempotency key, return existing result. Without idempotency, network timeout, client retries. Payment created twice. For payment system, idempotency is critical. Implementation can involve idempotency key, unique DB constraints, and processed result, request result. Database and JP questions now. First level versus second level cache. First level cache exists at persistence context entity manager level. It is enabled by default. User U1 equals to entity manager dot find user dot class 1L. User 2 entity manager dot find user dot class 1L. Within the same persistence context, JP can return the same managed entity instead of issuing another query. Second level cache shared across multiple persistence context sessions requires configuration, provide support, application entity manager 1, entity manager 2, entity manager 3. Second level cache. Example of providers includes Hibernate supported caching solutions such as EHCache or Infinispan, depending on the application setup. What is n plus 1 problem? Suppose one query fetch 100 orders, then 100 queries fetch customers for each order. Total 1 plus 100 equals to 101 queries. That's n plus 1. Example: list order repository dot find all. For orders dot get customer dot get name, potentially select star from orders, select star from customer where ID equals to 1 and it goes to 100. Solutions: join fetch entity graphs, DTO projections, batch fetching, and carefully designed queries. How to optimize slow queries? My approach is: identify the query, application log, APM, database monitoring, slow query logs. Check execution plan, explain, analyze. Select, look for full table scan, poor joins, bad cardinality estimates, expensive sorting, missing index. Optimize, proper indexes, query rewriting, pagination, avoid select star, reduce unnecessary joins, fix n plus 1, database partitioning where appropriate, connection pool tuning. Don't blindly add index because indexes also have storage and write update cost. How do you handle concurrent updates? Example, account balance is 10,000. Two requests simultaneously update its solution include optimistic locking. JPA at the version, private long version, conceptually update where ID equals to A and version equals to this. If another transaction change the row, the update fails and you handle retry appropriately. Pessimistic locking. At the rate lock mode type pessimistic underscore right. Database lock the row during the transaction. Use optimistic locking when conflicts are relatively uncommon. Pessimistic locking when stronger serialization is needed and the database workload justifies it. System design, payment NEFT processing system. A good high level design, client, API gateway, payment service, PostgreSQL, Kafka, then fraud service and notification. Kafka is giving fraud service and notification, then bank NEFT service. So flow is like client submit payment, validate request, generate transaction ID, store transaction as initiated, published event, process asynchronously, call banking, NEFT system, update system, publish success, failure event, notify customer. States are initiated, processing, success and failed. Critical requirements is idempotency, transaction, state machine, audit trails, retry, dead letter handling, reconciliation, security, monitoring, duplicate prevention. So how to handle 1 M plus transactions daily? 1 million per day is roughly 11.6 transactions per second on average. But production design should target much higher peak throughput because traffic is not uniform. I would design for load balancer API gateway, then stateless service, then Kafka consumers database. Scale horizontally. Payment service instance 1, 2, 3, 4. Kafka topic E0 partition 0 partition 1 partition 2 till partition n. Database connection pooling, proper index, read replicas where appropriate, partitioning, sharding when justified, archiving historical data, batch operation. Also Redis caching where appropriate, rate limiting, back pressure, auto scaling, observability. Saga pattern versus 2PC. 2PC is two-phase commit. Coordinator service A, service 2, two phases. Prepare commit. Problem distributed coordination, locking resource held, lower availability performance, more operational complexity. Saga break transaction into local transactions. Order created payment inventory shipping. If inventory fails, compensating transactions, refund payment. Saga is generally more suitable for microservice where you want loose coupling and eventual consistency. How to ensure data consistency across services. Don't try to use one giant database transaction across all microservices. Use patterns such as Saga, transactional outbox, idempotent consumers, retry, dead letter queues, eventual consistency, reconciliation jobs. Transactional outbox service, DB transaction, business data, outbox event, publisher, and then Kafka. The business data and outbox records are committed automatically in a same local database transaction. A publisher that sends the outbox event to Kafka. This helps avoid DB commit successful, Kafka publish failed, lose lost event. How to implement distributed logging. When multiple service instances must not perform the same operation simultaneously, use a distributed log. Common approaches: Redis-based logging, database logging, Zookeeper, etcd, console. Example, instance A acquire log payment 1 2 3 process payment release log. Other instance B acquire log already logged don't process. For Redis based approaches, use a well established distributed logging implementation rather than naively doing SCDNX without considering TTL, ownership, failure, and log expiry. Production and DevOps. Now the questions are from production and DevOps. How do you deploy microservices using Docker? Create the Docker file from Eclipse Temurin 17 GRE, copy target payment service.jar app.jar, entry point Java, jar, fjar, build, Docker build, T, payment service 1.0, run Docker, then payment service in production, git CI/CD, build, test, Docker image, container registry, Kubernetes pods. Typically, you don't manually run individual container in a production Kubernetes environment. What is circuit breaker? Circuit breaker protects your service when a downstream dependency is failing. State closed, failure, access threshold open after wait period half open, success closed, failure open. Example, order service, payment services. So instead of continuously calling a failing payment service, order service circuit breaker, it can immediately fail fast or return a fallback. Common Spring ecosystem choice, resilience 4J. How do you monitor logs? In a microservice environment, don't depend only on local application log. Typical architecture, microservice log collector, centralized logging, search dashboard, for example, Spring Boot, FileBeat, Fluent Bit, Elasticsearch, OpenSearch, Kibana, OpenSearch dashboard. Use structured JSON logs containing timestamp, level, error, service, payment service, trace ID, transaction ID, and message. Very important in microservice. Use a correlation trace ID so you can follow one request across multiple services. Also monitor metrics traces, not just log. What is rate limiting? Rate limiting controls how many requests a client can make within a period. Example, 100 requests per minute user. If a user sends request 101, HTTP 4 to 9 too many request algorithm include fixed window 10 to 10 is 100 requests, sliding window more accurate, rolling measurement, token bucket. Tokens are generated at a fixed rate bucket. Each request consume a token. Common implementation options, API gateway, Redis, application level rate limiter, cloud API management service. Most important interview follow-ups for the experience. Don't stop at the basic definition. Interview will ask, but how? For example, at the rate transactional, be ready for proxy, transaction interceptor, transaction manager, connection, entity manager, commit and rollback, and no propagation, isolation, rollback rules, self-invocation, nested transaction, read-only transaction. For Kafka, know the topics, partitions, consumer group, offset, rebalance, retry, TLQ, idempotency. For microservices, know API gateway services, Kafka, Saga, Outbox, database, Redis, observability. System design for payment NEFT, the strongest given to mention are idempotency, state machine, transactional outbox, Kafka, Saga, retry, DLQ, reconciliation, audit trails, optimistic locking, distributed locking, observability. These are the areas where an interview can take a simple question and turn it into a 20 to 30 minutes of system design discussions. So this is all from the interview question side. Thanks for watching.